was struggling.
Oh yeah.
Something I always also think is that they first picked that Rek'Sai. You know, I feel like in game 1, it's kind of like it's still a trump card, right? Where Honor Life Esports really expecting it. Could they not have left it till late in the draft to prioritize an AD carry earlier? The problem is you're not going to be able to do that now because they're aware of the Rek'Sai. So if it goes to second rotation, probably will just be banned. I do also want to add that I believe Peanut is still 100% win rate on Maokai.
Yes.
So
that's 10-0 now.
Wow. Doing pretty good on the pick. And I think between, I mean, that game was just him, Doran, and Delight playing Bouncer.
Yep.
You know, for the celebrities in the backline.
And those celebrities were eaten pretty well, as we saw in the damage graph. Same bands here to come through, just in a slightly different order from Honor Life Esports, and there is exactly the same bands on the other side as well. Is it going to be just once again a Maokai first pick? And yeah, obviously it is. Yeah,
I don't think you dispute that at all in this situation. And again, I think the Rek'Sai Sejuani was fine. Question is how you sort of switch things up from here. Reminder, it was Zeri Aatrox here for Honor Life Esports, and I don't think they have a reason to change things up themselves, at least not yet. Not probably at all.
Yeah.
Until Quantum Freaks change something, I think you can just keep going in that direction.
I felt like the Aatrox did struggle a little bit, but in the later game, I feel like they wouldn't have wanted any other champion.
Yeah, consistent theme of Aatrox is, you know, you struggle a little bit, build full damage, be the tankiest champ on the Rift, and just one-shot people.
Yeah,
it works very well. Oh. You know, Zeka paid his dues. He played one Corki game. He's like, let me play Yone now.
Yeah, please. It's going to be the Azir locked in instead.
Okay, so they've made the adaptation. A bit more early pressure, and even though they won last game, it definitely felt like that was something they were lacking. So look at the challenge here. The question is, what is Bulldog going to pull out? Because yes, he could just go for the other side of the Corki Azir matchup, but I'm not sure that's really the sort of pick they would expect from Bulldog. He can play things like the Quay, which are pretty longer range, but very typical, they don't have that strong of a jungle. Yeah, the Aurelion Sol, so particularly difficult for the Zeri. That singularity when it comes down, you know, it doesn't matter how much movement speed you have, it really does cause issues when you're trying to skate around the fight.
Not to mention the ult just being... You can't exactly Jet Set Radio Future your way out of that, because it kind of hits the whole screen and then another screen.
And also, another screen. You cut through tanks so quickly that this Maokai won't have an easy time here. You know, if you do end up getting caught out, you will just get laser beam. So we'll see how it changes. So far, Alistair banned away as a denial. Remember, it was that Corki last pick, so last time they were banned a mid laner. So once again, the Jinx ban comes through, which I think makes a lot of sense. Super powerful in the patch.
Yeah, I think keeping the AD carry bands the same. I think you could probably move away from a Lucian ban. I don't think you're too worried about a Lucian coming through here, as the Jace is going to be taken away from Doran.
I mean, they must be happy with how the matchup goes for the Rek'Sai and the Aatrox, but just because Aatrox is Aatrox, I probably would have banned him.
Yeah.
But clearly focusing on trying to make the matchup work, and they know the power of Maokai Jace, especially the long range aspect of it, so potentially concerned about that. See what this final ban is. It's going to be the Lucian again.
So exactly the same bands as game number 1 for Honor Life Esports. The only switch up is moving towards the Azir and the Aurelion Sol coming on through. Different bands entirely from Quantum Freaks in the second half. And of course, things didn't go so well for them in game number 1 as this game went on. So you could imagine that it does make a fair bit of sense that they have made the adjustments. As now Bull having a long conversation and then just locking in Draven. This is another one of his picks that he has been confident on in the past. Hasn't found all that much success here in the LCK. Just in general, Draven hasn't been doing too well. 16.7% win rate, as you can see. Rel being considered now by Delight, and that would mean, you know, like, just stack up the bounces. That's exactly what they want to do. And Rel Aatrox just seems like the same composition, but in a lot of ways better.
Yeah, and especially it's going to seem so difficult for the Draven to play. I understand that you saw some heated discussion between Bull and CP Max there. Clearly they were struggling to figure out what to play in the bot lane with these bans coming through, and now look at it, Doran having the TF. TF did get nerfed, but still seemed very strong after the nerfs. It looks like they're just going to go for the Aatrox. So similar comp as last game, a little bit of a tweak. Don't have as much poke damage, so range less of a threat, but so much lockdown, such powerful backliners, and we'll see. Look at the Renata coming out for Quantum. I think that's a really good pick, honestly.
Yeah, not a lot of range on Honor Life Esports' side, so I think that you can get a lot of value with the hostile takeover. Quantum going to take that one down, and also Alrighty. We're on the rift for game number 2, the Uribank 2024 LCK Spring Playoffs. Quantum Freaks early invade here, level 1. Understandable.
Yeah, that level 1's pretty solid.
Tremor Sense is something that we haven't needed to talk about for a very long time. But it is a very valuable tool. Yeah,
it's also something they actually buffed. So there were so many changes over a bunch of patches to try and make Rek'Sai into more of a bruiser. And one of them was they made the Tremor Sense range increase and also the tick rate. You know, like how frequently you see the has gone up. So it became a much better tool as a result. And obviously us as observers, you don't get to see that. But definitely another reason why he's been holding up pretty well.
Peanut is well and truly behind enemy lines here.
This is crazy. You saw all the pings coming out, trying to like predict where the vision was from Quantum Freaks. This is like, you have to be so confident to like walk into the enemy jungle this deep solo and be like, I'm just starting wolves.
He's just dabbing as well.
Yeah.
He knows that the observers are watching him. Like he just knows.
He's been around long enough. You know?
Is Zeka just gonna die? Just breathed on?
Yeah.
That was an interesting move. Zeka just doesn't like it if he hasn't taken obscene amounts of damage in the early game. He's like, oh, that's what this dragon does. He breathes on you and you have a bad time. All right, writing that down.
You know, and I was kind of talking about, it's actually, by the way, also the Grasp Azir this time.
Aha.
So going for that tank Azir we saw earlier in the split from Showmaker in particular. And Cuz will now know.
And he walks over the ward as well. So Peanut able to make his way out of there.
And actually, depending on the path Peanut takes, he might not even be... They just have no idea. It's just like, wait, is he invisible?
It's the ethereal tree just running through the jungle and walks straight to the one camp that Cuz doesn't take because, of course, HLG Esports had full vision. They knew exactly where everyone was and which camps were still up.
I think it's just testament to a player with the level of experience that Peanut has, that you can go for that invade, and he feels so cool, calm, and collected in sort of navigating it and not losing up. But now Zeka, this is very overextended.
He certainly is. He's going to be able to shift some sands, but still going to get hit by that Arctic Assault. I think he's going to have to flash, and there it is. The flash after him as well as the flash forward. Okay, that was a little bit of a worry, but they take a couple of turret shots and they're going to be okay. Let's see whether this one is going to be a little bit cleaner as that handshake absolutely fantastic from Quantum. Quantum Freaks fans going nuts here as well as that gank does not work.
Yeah, 2 positive plays for Quantum Freaks. Yes, that mid play was a little bit janky in how it played out, but the red buff pays off. You know, I was thinking it would just be the flash and they would take that, but they commit for the kill. The payoff is there, and Quantum Freaks able to defend away from that bot gang from Peanut, and now, for the first time, they have information on where he was, showing up.
They're going to be able to get some pings down. You can see they were pinging the blue jungle of HLG Esports' side of the map, knowing that all of those camps are still up and available as this wraparound. Yeah, this is an all-or-nothing play is what it feels like, because otherwise he's just going to lose his entire topside jungle if he gives himself away. They're going to need to find value from this play here. And now Delight finds the Shattering Strike, and now the tree is making their way forward. Ignite ticking down onto Quantum. He flashes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to flash forward for Peanut. He takes a casual turret shot. There's the instant bailout as well, and Quantum Freaks get another kill.
What a miscalculation. If it wasn't for the turret hit, I think Quantum probably just doesn't get the bailout, but they overcommit. And you know, this Maokai isn't this tanky this early in the game. Phase Rush is the tech, not Aftershock, so I think he just expected to be a lot tankier than he was.
Yeah. And now Bull should be able to pick up all of these minions underneath the turret, as of course, Quantum, he's going to go back.
Man,
and yeah, a plate. That's all that HLG Esports get from this.
The only saving grace is the fact that it wasn't Bull getting the kill. Otherwise, I mean, this lane would just be over. But even so, it's still a terrible thing to pan out. And now, oh, Doran, you're in trouble again.
He certainly is. There's the flash knockup as Doran going to get permanently frosted and will just be taken down here because tanking up a couple of turret shots, but he, of course, is very happy to do so. Oh, man. This is even better than last game, and we mentioned already that even in the later stages of the game, this is feeling a whole lot better.
Yeah, it felt like they kind of doubled down with the composition, because like here, yes, you have a lot of early elements that want to crush early, but like you have, you know, a Draven who, if you get ahead, he gets so much gold, and you also have an Aurelion Sol who holds up in the later stages of the game. You're not against the Forky. I feel like it's crazy to say, but you know, you're right. They're in a better position than last game, and last game had a really good early game.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who's going to be the difference maker this time for Life Esports, if anyone is going to be. I think that even in this mid lane, you mentioned already that Bulldog just didn't look that comfortable on the Azir, and I think that that was absolutely true. This is definitely one of his comfort picks. He absolutely loves the Aurelion Sol, and so I think that even from the mid lane, things are going to look better. Still, early days, we're going to have to see more here, as Peanut not very good at losing on Maokai, as we mentioned earlier. So we'll see whether he can pick himself up from his bootstraps and get things happening, as we're going to check out this play once again. Absolute disaster from Life Esports.
Yeah, the flash from Quantum's so good. And it's just... Peanut, I think the phase rush caught him off guard.
Yeah, he walked too far, yeah.
And he just ran too far. Didn't expect to take the tower hit. Just a really heavy overcommit. I think part of the problem as well is the Zeri, because of the minions in the way, wasn't able to get the damage down. So Peanut felt like he had to be the one to finish off the kill, and it ends up backfiring pretty heavily.
Yeah, and so now going to miss out on this first Drake. That'll go over to Quandong Freaks. Pretty happy to grab themselves a Hextech. Next one going to be an Ocean as well, and so Chemtech on the table. Love to see it. Chemtech Soul, that would be optimal, especially for this commentator setup that we have here on the global side. Studio will get out of the infernal chains that bind. But he just goes underground, I guess, and everything's K.
Now, I mean, remember, Dirk was nerfed a little bit, the AD has, so not as powerful a spike as before, but you can see, like, level 6 on Bull, it is just a really scary situation for Life Esports to be in right now. They're doing pretty good to keep up in terms of farm, but in terms of pressure in the lane, they just cannot match. And as Bull stacks up his passive, it gets to the point where his ult will just do so much true damage with the execute. It's really scary to deal with. Like, you have to handle the Draven before that point, because eventually it gets to a spot where he can just so easily pick up kills in the back of his ult, especially against squishy targets.
Now Cuz going to move on over. You can see 169 stacks on this Draven, as Peanut is in position to try and stop this. 3v3 is going to occur as Winter's Wrath does not connect. Still should be a second plate here towards this bottom side. Oh, never mind. There's going to be a lot of respect paid here by the Quandong Freaks. Not able to quite take that one down, but that should be a pretty sure thing. They've got 6 minutes to get like a damage on that.
Should be able to find that one pretty comfortably. Oh, they're looking.
Yeah, there's a flash forward. Instant cleanse from Bull is fantastic, but still that is 2 summoner spells. Now Nature's Grasp coming on through. This Alcove Gaming not going to work out for Quantum, as this time he will be taken out. No bailout for you, and Viper collects the first kill for Life Esports. Cuz waiting in the wings. This could be slightly overly aggressive by Viper positioning-wise, but Cuz does give away his position, and Viper moves away. And now Cleanse Flash available for Viper, unavailable for Bull.
Yeah, you know, it's a good gang for the side of Life Esports, but the fact that Bull survives is such a big difference maker there. Still able to hold on to their stacks, and they're just worth so much gold. So yeah, obviously not a great outcome for them, but hope is still alive that they can capitalize on this Draven, and the stacks are starting to get a little bit crazy numbers.
Yeah, this payout could just be the most massive. That's why you saw Life Esports going so aggressively onto Bull, realizing immediately that Quantum is a free one if they do get all of the summoner spells, and then Bull gets away because Quantum's flash was already down from the play prior.
Yeah, and they give the gold over to Viper, and now speaking of giving gold over.
Yeah, I think that Doran might be dead. Yeah, fine. Okay, Magnus Storm to come forward, and there is Zeka finding the Emperor's Divide. It's a double kill for Delight. Suboptimal, I guess, as far as giving the kills over, but Zeka still collects himself the assist, and that is a 2-for-1 in favor of Life Esports.
Beautiful time to come in, and if you look, Dudu is so close to having his flash back off. With that, would have just been able to evade that situation completely. Both of them delivered that play. Just fantastic turnaround for Life Esports, and Quandong Freaks definitely feeling rough about the outcome of that one. As you said, at least it went over to Delight, but still not how you wanted that passage of play to go.
Yeah, and Delight is just going to be more tanky as a result as well. So in this early game, they might be able to even make use of that extra money that he has collected for himself.
Yeah, like earlier Knight's Vow, helpful as well for Viper.
Yeah. Well, Cousin Peanut just going to be fighting one another. Looks like they'll be able to do some sharing when it comes to these Void Bubs. Cuz going to take the first and then move away. You know, wrapping around. You can see Doran moving on over. They do have control vision in this area as Nature's Grasp comes in. Cuz might be in trouble, but there is the Singularity. The ulti comes down as well from Bulldog, who was breathing for a really long time. The Void Rush comes through, but it's not quite enough damage there onto Doran. He tries to blast Cone away, but it's not going to work out. And the early game power of this Rek'Sai is working. Peanut does have Flash, uses it to get himself out of dodge. Still a big win for Quantum Freaks.
Show the power of this Rek'Sai in these early skirmishes. Such a threat to the enemy team, and Doran, you know, he obviously had a rough laning phase last game, but bounced back. He is even further behind in this one. 0-3-1 right now. 30 CS down. Quantum Freaks kind of running away with his top side.
Yeah, and Doran didn't fall that far behind in farm last time around, so we're going to check this one out from Delight's perspective. Yep, just slowly.
I mean, there is no better spot for Relald when someone's trying to leave the tower.
Sad that I got all the kills, says Delight.
Yeah, Bulldog just gets so much value here. The Singularity into the ult, breathing all over them. Probably got a ton of stacks from that passage of play as well. And then here from Dudu, the flash auto as he's mid-air to finish him off. Really well played.
Very nicely done. And then Bulldog sails over, gets the flash out from Peanut. We're watching Doran taking way too much damage yet again. Once again, the Bramble and Steel Caps working out very nicely here for Dudu.
I just love that someone's given Aatrox a taste of his own medicine, you know, like just the healing involved in the kit.
Yeah. As Dudu is not going to win out when these big sweet spots do come in, but then goes underground, and then you win every trade.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I plan on nerf with it is how much fury you get from the minions.
All right, there's a big old Magnus Storm. They're looking for Bull here as Viper throwing down the burst fires. The flash out there from Bulldog with the flash over the wall, and Viper locks down the kill. Goodbye, Stacks. As now Quantum, he's now found himself in a very awkward position. Cuz just comes over and Daylight Robbery steals away the dragon, and there's the Chemtech soul that we were talking about. Doran, solo kill? No? What's happening up here? Dudu doesn't have that much fury. He is going to be able to get into his tunnel though, and everything's all right. I guess it's just really hard to kill a Rek'Sai who's set up in lane.
So many stacks lost on that play, and I think Quantum didn't opt to use the W on Bull because Bull flashes out, and then Viper chases in to clean it up. I don't think it would have made a difference because I don't think Bull had a way of turning around the kill. But when you have no summoners, you have to be so much more cautious in this situation. Actually did have the cleanse, but they didn't have the flash, honestly, had both of them, and still just wasn't enough. I think just needs to be more careful when you have that many stacks.
Yeah. And Quantum isn't going to be chased down, but the problem is it's 2-0 now on this Zeri, and a death with that many stacks on the Draven means more than just the extra kill that your opponent has picked up.
I mean, honestly, it's like a 1,000 gold value play with the denial of the stacks combined with the gold given over. Would have been night and day difference if he was able to get that. They are still looking to punish Doran here, though, on the top side. Dudu, I think, could probably just solo kill him, but doesn't need to. Let's give it over to Bulldog.
Yeah, World Ender is going to come down, and Doran in the Singularity, just going to breathe on a couple of times. And that is just more free food going on over this time. It's going to be lapped up by Bulldog, his first of the game.
And again, they're doing a fantastic job of punishing this Aatrox, but your other side of the map is a Draven. I'm not sure that's a pick you can kind of leave to the Wolves and still expect it to have value.
Well, there's a Nature's Grasp, indeed. Bull going to get snared. Looks like Viper was more interested in trying to lock down this turret. That is going to continue to be the case, as Dudu not quite that tanky, I guess, as more minions get breathed on here. Bulldog does have his Rylai's Crystal Scepter, just very happily clearing out minions. Oh no! Zeki interrupted. Now he's going to miss out on some minions. Breathing. There we go. That's fine. I think he missed the cannon.
Yeah.
Not quite.
No, I think he got 84 gold from it. I'm pretty sure he got the cannon.
Oh, was it 84? I thought it was. Never mind. Let's just say that he got it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
better.
Bull lost 290 stacks.
Ow.
290.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Another way to really spin it, and this is not an easy game to play Draven into the champions the Life Esports have, so I feel like him being useful was kind of conditional on him being fed. You know, if you're at the point where you can kind of just launch an axe at Doran and do half his health, then I don't think it really matters how hard the game is to play. But here, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle, and I think a lot of the weight is going to come on a Bulldog in this one.
And also, Draven isn't balanced around it being an even game state. Draven is balanced around getting an early advantage and having more money than your opposition. If you're down in gold, you're just down in every single way, is kind of how it works.
If he doesn't cash in, he just doesn't have a passive, you know?
Yeah.
And also just the fact that Champion, because you have such a high AD ratio and your Q scales so well with items, OTP plan coming in is going to be
There are
darn.
4 people down here. Let's see whether they can hold Dudu in place, though, as they lose. They miss every single button. They do find that one, though. There are some knockups. Dudu now just trying to get to his tunnel, and he'll just get on out of there. Still, Doran is trying to fight, but he's going to turn his fight to the minions, because they stay still.
You know, honestly, I think that kind of went
really well for Quantum Freaks.
Yeah, I also was going to say, I think that kind of went even better for Honolulu Esports than I expected. They even damaged it a little bit.
Hey, there you go.
Is more than I anticipated.
Well, Bulldog is just kind of hanging out here with this inner turret that's taking a lot of damage. Cuz is taking away the blue buff. I think that that play on the bottom side might have been ill-advised.
For a team who are normally really sharp in the macro department, Honolulu Esports kind of making a bit of a blunder.
Oh, there's a flash twisted advance. Glacial Prison is going to be picked up there as now Doran finds that flank angle. Bulldog, I think he might be dead, as he is going to breathe his way out of it. Wants to be able to take Peanut with him to the Shadow Realm, but it's not going to work. And Peanut not able to find the Bramble Smash as the Gromp given over to the jungler. Zeka saying, you deserve this, Peanut. You can have it.
Yeah, and, you know, Honolulu Esports do manage to punish Bulldog. They managed to get his flash, which is pretty major, with Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. But still feels like Quantum Freaks in that passage of play were getting so much. You know, they got away with Dudu. They managed to get some... managed to get pretty free laning time mid and top. And then here, yeah, the flash W from Peanut secures it. And he tries to do as much damage as he can in return. I think the one big takeaway is he burnt the empowered ultimate, so that won't be available for this dragon fight. We'll see if that influences Honolulu Esports wanting to contest it.
And with a Chemtech sold, I think that both teams not as worried about dragons as they otherwise would be. Had it been something else. As, oh man, I feel like we've gone back in time. Bull's at
He's building
160.
Back up.
He's back to 160,
Think
guys.
if he hadn't died, like how many stacks he would have been on? It would have been like 450.
Sometimes you can't dwell on the past and you just have to look to the future.
His ult would have just one-shot people.
Yeah.
Bulldog, he doesn't lose his stacks when he dies though. So that's the takeaway. That's the positive spin.
There we go. 188 for the dragon. As, all right, Dudu just gets all the way in amongst it. He's now by himself, has to flash. And won't have the flash knockup, which is so incredibly valuable for the Rek'Sai. Now looking for a flank angle, but Doran, he can move on over. Delight is going to get stunned up, the Whirling Death, not doing anything at all. And now Nature's Grasp just to secure the dragon, or is it? As they push both carries right into the middle of the battle. And Viper is able to lock down one. Zeka gets another. Cuz is now just running away, as there is nothing they can do about it. Dragon is secured by HLG Esports as well. And it is another mid-game team fight that HLG just roll right over.
Huge payoff coming out. That flash that was burned from Bulldog gets punished immediately by Zeka. The shuffle comes in. There's nothing the Aurelion Soul can do. And as soon as he dies, it just feels like the team fight was over. Bull manages to keep his stacks, but losing a Drake, losing a mid tower, and all your team, I don't think you're feeling happy about that one.
And he doesn't even have that many stacks to keep. You saw that Whirling Death just didn't do that much. Delight does have Knight's Vow, and he's a bit tankier than he otherwise would be with that double kill from earlier, but let's have a look at this again.
Quantum Freaks were just so slow to set up for this. Like, it took so long for Bulldog to get here. And then you see this angle from Zeka. The only one he doesn't catch is Bull because he flashed. I think that's how good that shuffle was. You know, if Bull wasn't able to flash in time or didn't have it available, he would have had all three of the backliners. So just a phenomenal play by Zeka there. And as soon as it comes through, the fight's just over.
And Dudu takes a long time to kill, but he is going to die in the end as we're going to check out Zeka's angle. Just going to say, I'm going in. And he gets the flash, and there it is.
And the Rel follow-up, you know. Of all the champions to have following up a streamer shuffle, I think Rel probably one of the best.
Yep. Draven no flash calls it all out. And that was just the one team fight. We have to remember that Azir was on the list of champions that were in Zeka's wheelhouse when he was a world champion, or when he became a world champion. Wasn't necessarily our favorite. I think we still like him for his Akali and his Yone a little bit more. But he is probably very happy to have Azir back in the meta.
Interesting enough, he's gone Grasped. He hasn't. He's kind of still gone the Nashes, which you didn't typically see with the tank Azir. So it's kind of like a hybrid. He's bulkier, but not fully going like the Showmaker. I am a mega tank build.
just a little bit of a differentiation. We might see different items coming on through immediately afterwards, but we'll just have to see.
Well, they so want this tower, but you can't walk up to the rel, especially when Bull has no flash, so they're just going to have to back away. And I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, you look at the item, yes, and kill difference between the 80 carries.
Yeah.
Not feeling too hot.
No, and it's once again the second item LDR for Viper.
He knows what his job is.
He's even gone another recurve bow, so it might be that he's opting in for a little bit of extra attack speed. Is it going to be just a Kraken Slayer alongside it, or is he maybe heading into a Runans or something? I don't know.
I think the Kraken would be weird to have on the...
yeah, on a Zeri.
Yeah.
I just see recurve bow, and that's immediately what comes to mind. As 259 stacks now, we're getting towards Blue Blade's territory.
I think it's probably just the Runans. It's the most likely one. There's a lot of people clumped together in this game, so it could be in there. Yeah, 700 gold. Here's the thing, is that he actually had more stacks than this when he died. And you see it would have given 700 gold. So, you know, it really just is a heartbreaker that getting that kill difference could have been everything for Quantum Freaks. And now, it's really Honor Life Esports in control. They are in... now up in gold compared to them. Yeah, and I think the other takeaway as well is that there's 3 kills on Cuz. Not really where you want that gold to be.
No. In fact, there aren't really kills outside of Viper picking up kills, but everyone's kind of at the mercy of champions that don't really want to get kills. Now Zeka is just going to find Bolt, clips him with just the edge, and that is going to be Viper locking that one down. Oh, man. Well, he's got 71 stacks now.
Man, the amount of stacks lost this game, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's almost equal to the amount gained, as now Magnetstorm is going to be flashed into Bulldog. He's going to be taken down. Look at Viper. He's just hanging out. He's just finding targets. He's under no threat at all. Quantum is going to be ran down. No bailout for you, and that is going to be now Baron secured for free by Hummer Life. This game, I think, may have gone the way of the dodo.
The killer instinct of Honor Life Esports, the moment where they look for these plays, this TP flank coming in from a fairly fresh ward, and he knows Zeka was the one who called it himself, Draven no flash. It's such an easy pickup there. And then this play, Delight hiding out of vision here, sees the angle, and the whole team comes in to follow up, all of them funneling over the walls.
Oh, man.
Just honestly, such good team fighting coming out of Honor Life Esports this series. Really shows why they are a third place team.
And you're also getting a bit of info that Peanut and Delight have been playing together for quite a while, because both of them just seem to be on the same page with these engages. Delight sets it up, Peanut immediate flash, no hesitation, straight over the wall, twisted advance. All of these plays pretty set in stone for these two. And it just feels like the clock ticks over 15 minutes and Hammer are like, it's time to win now.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 10 minutes. I don't know, might be earlier than that.
I just think part of the problem is that, you know, Quantum Freaks do a pretty good job in those early setups, getting some advantages towards the top side. But even then, they don't all go, like, perfectly. Like, there was the kills answered back by Delight. Like, it's they get a lead, but not an overpowering lead. And then it's the transitionary period in the mid-game. They're just really not able to push it further. And I just think most of the time they get to team fights and they just lose. You know, this is not a fun game playing Draven. And if he's not fed, you're just going to get bullied.
Certainly are. Good handshake there from Quantum, because is still going to take so much damage. Has to flash to get himself out of the way. Singularity. Viper realizing it's quite difficult to get himself out of the way, and is eventually going to be able to do so. Armor, they will break open the base. Turret also falling down on that bottom side. As you can see, Doran moving those minions in. They'll take the inhibitor. And they will then look to back away. Empowered recall. Gets Doran back to base, because of course there was Dudu. And wow. Yeah, that was close.
And you know, Aurelion Sol is notoriously hard to siege against, just because he can place a Singularity down and all the minions stop moving at all.
Yeah.
So, using the Baron, breaking the inhibitor, actually pretty critical for Honor Life Esports to maintain sort of advantage and look to close out this game in the near future. I feel like if you give too much time to Aurelion Sol, even though obviously there's strong scaling elements on the side of Honor Life Esports, you're just asking for trouble. So, setting up with this Baron. Oh no, not again. He doesn't have any stacks to take.
Well, Hanwha just not going to walk towards the Fog of War. Know that there could be a Sejuani in the area. Whoa! Walk used once again to great effect as now Viper gonna have to cleanse, but he can't cleanse the knockup. It's a decent Magnetstorm though, and he just flashes out of the way. Cuz taking so much damage. The ulti does come forward. Quantum gonna get his ult sidestepped and the skate away from Viper. Still Doran is under a lot of threat, and Dudu is going to be able to lock down that kill in the end. But now Viper will make his way back in. The ulti is now running. Dudu is extremely tanky, but Delight is just trying to play bouncer. As Viper the skate out of the way once again, and Zeka is going to be able to finally get this kill on the Rek'Sai. No honey fruit for you. And now it is mid lane versus mid lane. And Zeka's going to call a support because he doesn't want a fair fight. That is a double kill for the Azir. And somehow, I don't know how Viper navigated that. He didn't do a lot of damage, but he did avoid death.
Yeah, it's just crazy he managed to dip away, and with him standing on the Singularity so low HP, a little bit more damage and would have been executed, but manages to avoid it in that situation. Quantum Freaks, good fight for them, all things considered, but not good enough. They're not able to find the critical targets, they're not able to take down the carries, and still in a pretty similar situation to what they were before.
We're going to have a look at it one more time. Viper utilizing Walk in the northern direction.
Yeah, a little bit of an overstep. He does have Cleanse, but still, it's like he's trying to bait the fight in. And we're seeing the Asuran fight, the value of the ultimate from the Aurelion Sol is absolutely massive there. But the Draven's just doing like no damage here. Like he throws an Axe of Peanut, it does like 5% of his health. And Bull just has to disengage from the fight. Meanwhile, you know, they get a lot of value here, but Zeka is just such a force to be reckoned with, and he's just a bit too bulky to take down.
And best of 5 Zeka is a completely different beast. This guy is just an absolute monster. You add more games in a series, and he just exponentially levels up. And Peanut is just having a good time, as we can see. That's a happy tree right there.
He's vibing.
Yeah. Well, that's 11-0 if he does manage to close this game out.
Okay, the good news,
yeah,
Bull didn't die again.
Hey, there you go.
The bad news is he is still killless.
Yeah.
And if you look at the levels on the side, Viper is about a level and a half above him.
And even if they get a kill
on Bulldog,
even if he cashes in these stacks, I don't think it will matter at all. Viper is like 3,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, I think
2.5 items to 3 in most of a quick play.
I think if he cashes in, the game goes from unwinnable to very unlikely to win.
Yes.
So, slight improvement. Doesn't really change much in this situation.
Oh, triple Chemtech Drake as well. Peanut called Zeka's Azir the horribly slow murderer with a spoon. That's what he called him when we had him on screen just before. Death by 1,000 cuts, I guess.
Yeah, death by 1,000 spoons.
Yeah,
I guess.
More thematically, it would be like tickled to death with a feather, as he is a pigeon.
Yeah, and it's working out. It kind of just feels like he's this looming threat in team fights, and they just don't. He is so tanky still, you know. I mean, Leandris obviously has a bit of health. Grasp stacks as well, but he's got over 3,000 health, and this team already lacks damage.
Oh, Cuz, he's able to get over that wall.
Run away.
Should be all right. As Quantum, he's just getting out of here.
Whoa.
And he should survive.
Dangerous position. It's the flanking Granada.
Oh, maybe the angle will be found. Never mind. Not going to find the handshake, and now Doran realizes that he can just dive on top of this one and look for the kill. Magnet Storm onto 3. Where's the follow-up? It doesn't actually matter. I guess they've just got enough right here as Zeka's found a Draven once again. He's put into the sky and then eliminated immediately. Dudu doesn't even look tanky anymore, and Bulldog, he's holding onto an empowered ultimate. He may need it for game 3.
Just feels like HLG Esports won this game minutes ago, but they're just kind of ticking the boxes here. Quantum Freaks try to go for a creative play with a flanking Renata. You know, we've learned today she's not an engaged champion, she's not a flanking champion, and she's not going to win this game either.
Well, now that is a big ulti. Absolutely beautiful observation work there as Doran, he's going to die to the turret. There it is. Still, Bulldog takes most of his health bar and damage just incidentally is what it feels like, as hostile takeover is taking over nothing. And Peanut does die, and Bulldog is just going to get torn to shreds. There it is, and the Nexus goes down for the second time this series. Match point now.